Fan theories are tired. I remember at one point when I was like 3 years old, I thought it was like super deep and epic that someone on the internet would be like, oh, Peter Pan is the Grim Reaper or whatever. But there was a period of time where these were just like everywhere and they lost all novelty and it just became pretty annoying. While researching for this video, I watched some Watch Mojo videos on fan theories because if you're looking for annoying, dumb content that is bad and also not good, Watch Mojo is kind of like the friggin' Library of Alexandria.
Be sure to subscribe for more great content.
Anyway, I think the reason fan theories are just so easy and annoying and oversaturated is just stated perfectly in one of their videos, albeit unintentionally.
If you dig deep enough in any form of media, even in cartoons and animated fare, you're sure to find some truly mind-blowing explanations about why certain things are the way they are.
If you're looking for information with a set conclusion in mind, you're gonna interpret any information you can link to that conclusion as evidence towards it, despite this not necessarily being the case. It's just confirmation bias. With how narrow of a window you're getting into a world with any given piece of media, it's so easy to draw conclusions with little or unrelated amounts of evidence. It's so easy to say a character is dead, or a world is post-apocalyptic, or a character is mentally ill, which are kind of like the three most common ones. They're just so overplayed, and I don't care about any of these. Listen, all I'm trying to say is I hate fan theories, mainly because they're just drawing baseless conclusions. That was until I discovered this one. What if I told you I had a theory so impregnable, so strong, that a character in this piece of media says in dialogue, in canon, that this theory is true, that this event happened? If there's one thing I hate more than fan theories, it's the Cars franchise. I can't really explain it, but there's something I just absolutely despise about this world, the characters, the general concepts, and just the overall quality of the films. I remember once, through further research around 2009 or so, my little sister would watch these weird Cars shorts on Disney Junior, or actually it was called Playhouse Disney at the time, and it was hosted by these two, like, weird sock monkey puppets.
Happy Monkey Day! Uh-oh, somebody doesn't seem very happy on Monkey Day.
Monkey Day is July 17th. Hope it's not canceled by the... Anyway, these shorts were bad. I remember disliking them as much as, if not more, than the movies, but after my sister became sentient and stopped watching them, I kind of just stored them in the depths of my memory, never to be seen again. Or so I thought. The year is 2019. A certain corporation that owns something like 40% of all media decides to offer it to you at a... Okay, what I'm trying to say is I got Disney Plus, and, you know, I was minding my own business watching things like The Garfield Movie, Mr. Boogedy, Pixar in Real Life, Mr. Boogedy 2, The Bride of Boogedy, and Steamboat Willie. This is when I see them. A rush of repressed memories comes back to me. I have to rewatch them. I have to fight this battle, and when I do, something is different. When I was a kid, I saw these as but dumb, pointless shorts, only for babies. But now with my big adult galaxy brain, I now see a much larger, deeper, and darker story begins to unfold. A particular line of the shorts is called Mater's Tall Tales. It's where our general story arc is revealed. These mostly have the same story. Lightning McQueen will be doing something with Mater when Mater will recall some fantastical, seemingly made-up memory. A tall tale, if you will. The basic story is told, and then, oh no, Mater has a little friggin' oopsie. He really gets himself in a little pickle. Then Lightning McQueen always comes to save the day.
Looks like we finally caught you, Big D.
After this, Lightning McQueen accuses Mater of lying and drives off. Shortly after, an event seemingly proving the authenticity of Mater's story occurs. This is, beat for beat, the story progression of every single episode. All but one. Mater's Tall Tales, Episode 2, Mater the Greater. Air date, October 28th, 2008. Length, 5 minutes. The bulk of this story is similar to every other episode. Mater tells Lightning McQueen that he used to be a daredevil. Sure enough, he was pretty good at his job. That is, until the climax of the piece. Mater is about to jump over a large canyon. Surprisingly, though, the traditional structure of the story shatters, as while we would usually expect Mater to be in a helpless scenario right about now, Lightning McQueen questions Mater's authenticity, and Mater claims that he should remember. He was there. Lightning McQueen is launched off the ramp. In suspense, Lightning asks Mater what happened next. Mater then says the smoking gun of this theory.
What happened?
You didn't make it.
Direct confirmation. Lightning McQueen is dead. Despite what we're led to believe, I can confirm with 100% certainty that these tall tales are anything but what they're described to be. The most obvious evidence is obviously the objects that relate to the story that appear shortly after their telling. However, the most damning evidence is actually in the intro. Listen closely to the words Mater says.
If I'm lying, I'm crying.
Guidelines for authenticity. Now, as he's telling the story, pay close attention to his eyes. Absolutely tearless. After hours of deep analysis of this footage, I have found that Mater does not seem to cry a single time in this saga, leading me to believe that his stories are entirely true. Now, the next obvious question is, if Mater's stories are true and Lightning McQueen is dead, how is Mater telling him these stories at an apparently different time? I have two main theories for how this is possible. I'll get the boring one out of the way first. It's impossible to ignore that the stories in the Mater's Tall Tales saga are far-fetched, but I'm sure you can agree if you experienced them, they'd be a pretty fond memory that you would have with any friends involved. The easiest explanation to draw is that Lightning McQueen died, and Mater is simply grieving him. In denial of his absence, he pretends that he is still there, as he relives his fondest memories, the most exciting moments of their lives together. Boom. Case closed. Right? Wrong. Lightning McQueen being dead and this world seeming realistic may make the most sense at a glance, but we have a couple of pieces of evidence to contradict this. Mainly that Mater was both a noir detective and met an alien. Both seem to be pretty out of place with the timeline of the Cars universe. In the Prime original series, Undone, the main character Alma learns that she has the ability to control time. However, she doesn't really know how to use this ability, and it results in some real wacky scenarios as she learns, screwing up some timelines, getting stuck in others. I believe something similar is happening with Mater here, and I'll explain why in a minute, but first I need to explain the theorized timeline so we can kind of get things in order. The first events of this saga are obviously those of the Cars films. These don't really have any significance to our narrative here, as I don't think Mater had discovered his ability yet. Event 2 would be that after their main stories are over, Lightning and Mater decide to start living a more exciting life, traveling the world and trying new things. Event 3 is Contact. In the episode titled UFM, Unidentified Flying Mater, Mater meets what we can presume to be an alien or some technologically advanced being. It grants him the ability to fly. While it isn't shown on screen, I'm gonna assume that this being also granted him the ability to time travel, as this seems to make the most sense, seeing as it has also given him other supernatural abilities. Event 4 is the unfortunate demise of our protagonist. As mentioned earlier, Lightning McQueen dies in a horrible canyon-related accident. Mater is deeply devastated by this and simply wants his friend back. Knowing he has the ability to time travel, he attempts to go back to a time where he could speak to his friend just once more, perhaps even to warn him about the oncoming events, and in doing so, accidentally travels back to the 50s. He's stuck in this timeline so long that he assumes a career as a detective, eventually meeting Lightning McQueen's grandfather. Soon later, Mater travels back to the present, where he tells Lightning McQueen of their ventures and eventually, of course, tries to warn him of his impending doom. Lightning McQueen has not lived through these events yet and simply writes them off as tall tales. Now that we've got an established progression of things, I can explain some more intricate details. For example, the weird objects relating to Mater's tale, or artifacts, as we'll call them for simplicity's sake. When Mater thinks of an event, without fail, an object related to that event shows up directly after he tells his tale. I don't think this is a coincidence. Remember, Mater has the ability to control time here. Although he hasn't completely mastered it, I think Mater's thoughts about an event unintentionally cause an artifact from these times to manifest, only leaving Mater to dread the oncoming events. So, to conclude, Lightning McQueen is dead, Mater is a time traveler, fan theory's bad, Cars bad, car theory good, because it true. Maybe the difference is that I'm not a Cars fan. I'm a Cars enemy. Enemy theory, good. This video is falling apart. Goodbye. Oh yeah, there was also this that I found out about after writing this video. But it's fine. I doubt it would have helped my case at all anyway. It doesn't look like it has anything to do with it. So when I was like 5, I had like a Lightning McQueen TV, you know, like the one in the JFK assassination meme. Like it's literally the same model, and it lasted a very short amount of time. It started like breaking down pretty pretty shortly after I acquired it. I specifically remember like watching Revenge of the Sith, and then the TV just like kept shutting off randomly, and it was really annoying. But it was also really scary because I was 5, and of course I was like, oh, ghosts back at it again. So I went to school the next day, and I was like telling a friend about it, and apparently she was like deathly afraid of ghosts. And so I just made her cry by telling her about my Lightning McQueen TV having hardware failures.